Hello super duper friends, today is day 19, super excited to be here. Today you're going to learn the real power of the spin model and why once you use the spin model it's actually going to change your mindset from thinking about a sales call into more of a conversation with your prospect. So let's jump into the spin model. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about who originated the spin model. So I have the spin model book. SPIN stands for situation, problem, implication, need, pay, based, as you know. So SPIN was originated by Neil Rackham, and you can get this book. I highly recommend this book called SPIN, Need, Payoff. Situation, problem, implication, need, payoff. Alright, so let's jump into the SPIN model. So what does SPIN stand for? SPIN stands for situation, problem, implication, need, payoff, need-based payoff. Alright, so now I want to show you a little bit of an example of what a situation question is. So a situation question is just when you start a conversation with your prospect, with your student or client, in the beginning of the call you're kind of just investigating, demonstrating, trying to gather intelligence. So there's a couple of different ways to gather intelligence. So let me show you an example of what a situation question is. Alright, so situation questions are such as, what equipment do you use now? They're talking about a manufacturing company. What equipment do you use now? How many people do you employ here? How old is this unit? So those kind of questions are more for inexperienced communicators, inexperienced sellers, because it really doesn't go anywhere. And research shows that most calls that use those type of more and more situation questions actually fail. So you just kind of start, what equipment do you use now? And then you lead into problem questions. So problem questions lead you to, for your, like I mentioned in the previous video, is when you want your prospect, your student, your client to actually reveal his needs, reveal his problem, and get him to experience the problem for himself. And he might not even know the problem exists. That's the beauty of this. It's great. Okay, so for example, problem questions. The book says, is your existing machine hard to use? Are you satisfied with that machine? Do you have quality problems? And then they say, yes, we have these types of problems. Now these questions are more used in a smaller sale. They succeed because they get people to see their problem, and then you're going to expand the problem with, you guessed it, implication questions. So what are implication questions? So for example, what effect does that have on output? So you imply, and you don't say the implication, right? That's the main difference between the spin model and every other training material that you're going to see on sales, is that you, as the seller, as the salesperson, as the communicator, are having a conversation. And as a conversationalist, you have to be able to listen and ask the right questions in the right order. Make sense? Okay, let's continue. So what effect does that have on output? Could that lead to increased costs? Will it slow down your proposed expansion? Will it slow down your proposed expansion? So now you're implying the perception of the problem becomes larger. They see that, yeah, this could lead to increased costs. Well, if our machine, and then you ask, well, why? And here comes the real kicker, the need payoff questions, my absolute favorite. And we talked about that in the previous video of why, the 5 whys, right? So, and the how, and what will that do for you, right? Those types of questions. So here's how you transition. Here's how you transition. So once you start off with the situation, you start off with the problem, then you go into the problem, then you lead into the implication. Once you imply, they expand the problem, they see it for themselves. That's the real beauty of it. They see it for themselves, and then they actually tell you. So here's what we're going to do. Next, you ask, well, how would that help? And then they say, well, that would help because it would decrease our time by 10x, for example. Then what benefits do you see? Oh, we see this, X, Y, and Z benefits. And why is it important to solve this problem? They're going to tell you why it's important. And then you can ask, well, why is that important for you? And how would that help? And then you could ask, what benefits do you see? And you could do it, I would do it at least 3 times so that you could really, really dig deep and really understand their problems so that they understand their problems. So let's recap. So SPIN model: situation, problem, implication, need-based payoff. Need-based payoff. The questions you want to ask the most are need-based payoff if you want to be successful in sales, period. If you ask those types of questions more and more, research has shown that you're going to be more and more successful. So here's how it works. Next time you get on a call, you open your call. We talked about how to open the call. You transition, you ask the right to ask, you ask their permission to ask questions. You don't interrogate people. We're just having a nice conversation. It's easy. So once they say yes, go ahead and ask me questions. You start with situation. You say what are some, then you lead into what are some of the problems. Then you see what is that leading to, and then you ask why is that important for you and how would that help. So go ahead, try this. It's been day 19. In our next video, I'm going to talk about how to transition from the need-based payoff questions into your transition and into your close, and summarizing the benefits as your prospect sees them. Now that's important, as your prospect sees them. So stay tuned for day 20. Take care and have a great day. Bye.